In my opinion, the most interesting use of stats in sport is in the betting sector, which is what I do, or sports modelling as such, you know, like the modelling of football teams to kind of ascertain how good they are and compare to each other. You know, that kind of side of using data to make predictions about sporting events, I think is very interesting. An area in sports where maybe statistics could help, probably from a football perspective, which is what I like, maybe like the FIFA rankings. They've been around for a long time. There might be better ways to determine how good a team is relative to all other teams, especially in international football where teams play each other so sparsely. Perhaps the greatest misuse of statistics in sports might be in sports journalism, where they'll just take statistics at face value and sensationalise stories based on what they deem a statistic or a number, which, if you looked into it or investigated further, may give different conclusions. And it's probably one of the most glaring misuses of statistics by individuals who perhaps aren't statistically trained. I'm not sure if number crunchers are really destroying the appreciation of sports in general. I think sports has become much more mainstream, it's on telly all the time. People are much more aware of every facet of sports in the media. And I think if you lay that to statistics and statistics in use, with the vast quantities of data we now have, I think statistics is really only enhancing the sport as opposed to destroying it. And I think maybe the better use of statistics in sport will perhaps enhance it even more. I mean, if we think back kind of longer term to when we didn't have statistical analysis in sport, things were done much more on people's opinions, and you know, people would deem a player good because he hits home runs a lot, or because he scores certain types of goals. You know, he's deemed important to the team by people who are deemed to be experts. Whereas the use of statistics in these kind of sports is kind of given different opinions, and perhaps made sport more optimal to teams, especially in the industry. It's a more big business in sports, so that's probably, before we had these statistics, people were much more reliant on expert knowledge, whereas now it's perhaps more optimal to have the combination of expert knowledge and statistical analysis. Given that many clubs and teams in sports are kind of adopting statistical analysis, there may still be barriers to it, and I think probably us as statisticians would be mostly to blame. We have to pass across our statistic knowledge to people who aren't statistical and make it applicable. As in any area of statistics, we have to use it in real life, so we have to make the statistics applicable to people who don't understand it, and I think if we can do that, perhaps we can even increase further the use of statistics